Right. This is a short discussion about evaluation of the cervical lymph node, a cervical mass, which is a lymph node mass. How will you proceed? Basically, this will be about evaluation of a malignant node. Okay. As you know, neck is a very big area, so a lot of swellings can occur. A swelling in the neck, first of all, you need to say it's a lymph node. So many other swellings can occur, like a small soft tissue swellings, like a lipoma, neurofibroma, cystic swellings. So many swellings. So we are only concentrating about a lymph node, which is confirmed by clinical examination in other evaluation. It's a lymph node. If you find a lymph node, how will you evaluate the lymph node? Whether it's a primary disease of the lymph node or secondary disease, whether it's an infective disease or some other disease. So basically, this class will be about a malignant lymph nodular swelling. How will you evaluate, find the primary site of the malignant lymph node? That will be the idea of this class. So neck is an area where each side of the neck contains around 50 to 70 lymph nodes. That is, both sides together, there will be around 100 to 140 lymph nodes in a normal individual. So these nodes can react to so many conditions in the human body, like right from infection, acute infection, chronic infection, primary malignancy of the lymph node, secondary malignancy. So it is an area where you need a lot of clinical judgment, a lot of anatomical knowledge. Then only you can then a lot of investigations to find out the cause. So before we go into the proper, we need to know about the lymph node. Then, as you know, the neck is divided into various stations. Okay, neck is divided into various stations. Actually, there are 7 lymph node stations in the neck. 1 to 7. 1 is divided into 1A and 1B. 1A is the submental region, that is the borders are the midline, the anterior belly of the digastric, and the mandible, that is hyoid bone. That's 1A. 1B is the anterior and posterior belly of the digastric and the mandible. Okay. Level 2 is the area from the base of the skull to the hyoid bone, and superior inferiorly, midline in the here, and posterior border of the sternum line. Okay, this area. It is again divided into 2A and 2B by the spinal accessory nerve. It divides it into 2A and 2B. Okay. Level 3 is from the hyoid bone to the cricoid cartilage above and below, midline here, and posterior border of the sternomastoid plane. Level 3. Level 4 is from the cricoid cartilage to the clavicle and from the midline to the posterior border of the sternomastoid. Remember, it's the posterior border of sternomastoid. Okay, it's not about the anterior border. So any lymph node under the lymph node of the sternomastoid is also including in this. So anything below the posterior border only comes into level 4. Level 5 is from the base of the skull to the clavicle and from the posterior border of sternomastoid to the trapezius, anterior border of trapezius. Okay, this is a big area, which is divided into 5A and 5B by spinal accessory nerve. Okay, so level 1, 2 and 5 are divided into A and B. Okay, so what is the importance? Each area of the nodes will be trained by certain area, a certain group of certain organs or certain structures. Level 1 is trained by the floor of the mouth, the larynx, the floor lip, lower lip and upper lip, and the tongue, mandible, lip, all this. This is training to this area, level 1. Okay. Level 2 is divided, this trains again oral cavity, oropharynx, larynx, and parotids come to this level 2 nodes. So the group, a node is enlarged in this area, you need to think about these structures. So it's very important to know the structures, the level of node involved, because according to the level, you can clinically evaluate that particular area and concentrate your evaluation and investigation to that particular area. Level 3, again oral cavity comes here. Then the pharynx, hypopharynx, thyroid comes to this region also. Okay, larynx, thyroid also comes to level 3. Level 4, again it can be hypopharynx, larynx, thyroid, and cervical esophagus also drains to the level 4 node. Level 5 is a posterior group of nodes, posterior area. Nasopharynx comes here, nasopharynx comes to this region, oropharynx, and the entire scalp skin over the scalp. So whenever there is you may have, this is a very common condition we can see. Many people will come with posterior cervical nodes enlarged. When you carefully examine this, there may be pediculosis, dandruff, and all this can produce enlargement of the level 5. And also the skin over the neck. Level 6 is the midline. The boundaries are both carotid sheaths laterally from the hyoid bone to the suprasternal notch. That's the level 6. Okay. Level 6 nodes are usually drains the thyroid and cervical esophagus, larynx, and all these structures. Okay. That's the level 6. Level 7 is below this. That's from the suprasternal notch to the arch of aorta and laterally the carotid arteries. Okay. So this is the anatomy of the level. Level 7 again drains the thyroid, cervical esophagus, and the mediastinal structures. So these are the 7 levels of the lymph nodes in the neck. You should know the boundaries of each level and which are the common structures draining into these regions. Okay. So accordingly, you can plan your clinical evaluation as well as the investigation to find out the primary. Okay. So that's the first thing. So that's the anatomy of this region. And what has changed in the recent past? That also I think you should know. The TNM staging has changed a little bit about the lymph nodal status. Okay. Lymph nodal status, the TNM staging has changed to some extent. What is changed in the latest TNM staging is they included something called an extranodal extension. Okay, the extranodal ENE means extranodal extension. Most of the staging is the same as like this is TNM staging AGCC 8th version. What has changed from 7th version is the ENE, inclusion of ENE. Otherwise, all the same. N1 is a single ipsilateral node less than 3 cm, but no extranodal extension. N2 is again divided to N2A, B, C like before. N2A is a ipsilateral single node 3 to 6 cm, but no extranodal extension. That's so you should add there. N2B is a metastasis multiple ipsilateral nodes 3 to 6 cm without ENE. Okay. N2C metastasis bilateral or contralateral lymph nodes between 3 to 6 cm, but no ENE, without ENE. Okay. N3, in the previous classification there was only one. N3 means that is a node which is larger than 6 cm. That's all. Here N3A is a lymph node which is larger than 6 cm without ENE. N3B is included here. That is a metastasis in any node of clinically over ENE. ENE plus means any node, any size, any node. If ENE is plus, that means it automatically becomes the N3B. So this is the one stage, but because this will be in the subsequent discussion, we will find what is the importance of ENE. Extranodal extension is very important to plan the further treatment of the cervical lymph node. Okay, especially if the primary is not detected. Okay, so this we should remember the nodal status. Now, once the patient is there with all these features, what are you going to do? Okay, the patient has come to you with we know some node is enlarged. Patient is come to you with these features and lymph node or whatever. The swelling is there. You have to take your start. So with this basic background about the anatomy, the lymph nodal stations, the primary areas of draining to these areas, and the essential end staging. I didn't mention about the T staging, which is not necessary at this point. The end staging change, you should approach this patient. Okay. As in all other cases, the patient is coming to you with a particular problem, and you will be evaluating this patient. History. Definitely, after the first thing is the history. You can concentrate on this, some of these symptoms. Okay. If the patient is having a node, neck will node with the autalgia, definitely you should think about a laryngeal problem, an external or canal problem, maybe primary somewhere there. A dysphagia or rhinophagia, you should think about a laryngeal, hypopharyngeal problem, cervical esophageal problem, pharynx. Okay, these areas you should concentrate and see. Patients have hoarseness of voice. You should think about a primary somewhere in the larynx or even in the thyroid. This can produce the symptoms. Trismus and dysarthria. Trismus and dysarthria, sometimes the patient will can think about an oropharyngeal problem, metastasis to this region and all this. Okay. And next will be a nasal congestion and epistaxis. Patient may be having a nasal PNS, paranasal sinus, nasopharynx, all these issues. Okay. Aspiration. Patient is aspirating. Again, laryngeal issues, a thyroid problem with the nerve damage, or a mediastinal malignancy which is producing the literal laryngeal injury. All this can happen. So take a history, proper history about an additional symptoms which will help you to guide for the evaluation of this patient. So history taking is a very important thing. And so first of all history taking, then you clinically evaluate, examine this patient properly. First again about the which level of node is in mass, number of nodes, the size of the node, consistency of the node, fixity of the node, all these you should see. Clinically you have to evaluate. Like in any other case, you should go back to our examination about a swelling. In the same manner, you should examine a swelling, categorize it, and describe it properly. Okay. So according to this, what are the risk factors which will tell you probably the node which you are dealing with is a malignant lymph node? Okay, what are the features which will guide? These are not absolute features, but some of the points here mentioned here will help you to say that probably this is a malignant node, or maybe a secondary node. Age more than 40, but that is again an arbitrary age. Younger than age also patients can get, but more than 40. Alcoholic and smoker, definite risk. And also pan-chewer, isn't it? These are all definite risk factors for oral cavity malignancy. So which can be the primary, not only oral cavity, any upper air digestive tract malignancies, which can be the cause for the cervical node. A history of oral biopsy. Patient may not tell you unless you really ask for it. Patient may have had a biopsy of the cervical or oral cavity lesion sometime back. Patient may have forgotten, maybe not, he's not showing you the biopsy report. That may give you a clue, maybe that was a malignant lesion. And on examination, what are the features by which you can say this node will be malignant, right? Especially secondary? It will be hard consistency, which is persistent for more than 6 weeks. Because there are so many conditions where you can have lymph node enlargement. Benign, inflammatory or non-specific nodes usually disappear within a period of 6 weeks. Okay? But with persisting for more than 6 weeks. And any node more than 2 centimeters. Persisting hard node which is persisting for more than 6 weeks and more than 2 centimeters. There's 80% chance of this being a malignant lesion, a secondary. Okay. So that is the clinical examination you should do. So history have taken, you have a clinical examination, then there is a node with all these risk factors. So okay. Then you go into the third step. You have to go for evaluating the risk. No. So the primary evaluation is that can either an ultrasound guided or an FNAC without an ultrasound guidance. That's the first thing you should do. You should categorize the node into maybe an inflammatory node. Sometimes the report will come as an inconclusive. You cannot give. So you may need a biopsy in such cases. Or the FNAC itself may give you an idea that it may one of these 4 or 5 groups. That is, it may be they may give you an FNAC report of secondary from squamous cell carcinoma, or secondary from adenocarcinoma, or maybe a secondary from undifferentiated carcinoma, or sometimes they may be melanoma. Or sometimes rarely they can even tell you maybe lymphoma. Okay. FNAC lymphoma diagnosis is difficult, but some people can tell you. So further evaluation depends on what type of malignancy you got from FNAC. Okay. So this kind of FNAC can be done by guided by an ultrasound, so that you can take a maximum, the most significant lymph node, you can strike the area of maximum significance without avoiding the area of necrosis and all. You can concentrate and take a FNAC. We will go and evaluate one by one. Suppose it is a squamous cell carcinoma by FNAC. It is just to be from the upper aerodigestive tract. This is squamous cell is only the upper aerodigestive tract mainly. That is the oral cavity, the oropharynx, the pharynx, cervical esophagus, the PNS area. So you should have a detailed clinical evaluation, including an ENT evaluation. Okay, all these areas clinically you should see. Scalp, squamous cell carcinoma can come from very easily in the ladies if you don't remove the hair and see, you can easily miss it. That too, we have already mentioned about the levels of stations where you have to concentrate. Okay, according to the level, you need to have an extra vigilance in examining a particular area of importance depending on the level of noding. So, detailed clinical evaluation. That's the first thing. Then, if there is nothing in the clinical evaluation, you should go for the scope. You can pan endoscopy. We call it pan endoscopy. So, what are the things you do in pan? You can do a nasopharyngoscopy, okay, esophagoscopy, and bronchoscopy. So these are the areas where you get these squamous squamous cells, isn't it? So scope is, you should see the entire area. So nasopharynx, the bronchoscopy and the esophagus. You have to see detailed scopy. If any lesions form, take biopsy. Nothing is see MRI. People prefer MRI over CT. Many people say MRI is better. Thin slide, 3 mm slides of MRI. You can see the entire area. If there is a lesion, you can come. PET scan is very important. The FDG PET scan is important. If PET scan is done there, you can do it before scoping. So that you can, if PET is positive, you can concentrate on that area and take biopsy with scoping. Okay. So PET is there, you can put it before scoping and do PET. Find out the area, then do scoping, take biopsy. Okay. And then whenever you find a lesion with any of this investigation, take biopsy, confirm it and proceed. What we will do, we will tell you later. But the last area, suppose you are not finding a primary lesion with any of these investigations, you can take some blind biopsies, thinking that it may be, you can take a dual tonsillectomy, unilateral, bilateral tonsillectomy or biopsy from the tonsils, base of the tongue, the supraglottic region, all this region you can take blind biopsies, okay, post-cricoid area, hypopharynx and or piriform post. These are the areas which may be hidden malignancies. So you can people take blind biopsies from base of the tongue, the hypopharynx, the piriform fossa, tonsils and all. Okay. Sometimes you may pick up a malignancy with some of this. So you may get a primary lesion with any of this, you may not get. What will you do in each of situation? The subsequent section. Now suppose it's adenocarcinoma. The FNAC shown it's an adenocarcinoma. Depends on adenocarcinoma can be, it's not like squamous, it can come from anywhere in the body, isn't it? Depending on the primary. Suppose the levels of node involve 1, 2 and 3. It could, the area need to concentrate salivary gland and thyroid. So because adenocarcinoma cannot come from the upper, the aerodigestive tract where there's only squamous remitters, isn't it? Cannot be from hypopharynx and oral cavity. So it could be from salivary gland. If the nodes involve 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to concentrate on thyroid. Okay. Anything 4 and 5, levels 4 and 5, also you should concentrate areas below clavicle. What are the areas where below clavicle from where you can get adenocarcinoma? Like the lungs, the breast, then below that we have GIT, entire GIT, like the stomach, colon, everywhere. Then the renal system, anywhere. You can get adenocarcinoma from anywhere. So, depending on the level of involvement, you need evaluations like this. You may need a CT chest and abdomen to see, contrast enhanced CT chest and abdomen. You also need endoscopies, upper GScopy, lower GScopy to find out the lesion. If you find something in the CT, a mammogram or MRI of the breast to see any lesion in the breast. Sometimes mammo may not pick up young ladies, you may have to do a MRI of the breast. Ultrasound of the thyroid and salivary glands. Okay, depending on the level, ultrasound and detailed evaluation of the thyroid and salivary glands. Urology evaluation, a CCT of the renal system, the urological system, any lesion there or not. CEA evaluation to see the GI malignancy, and also multiple scopies like upper GScopy and lower GScopy. Okay. So in every case, all this may not be necessary, depending on the lesion of the level of the nose. And if you find something with the evaluation of the radiological evaluation, you should concentrate and do the relevant investigation in the relevant cases. Okay. And in spite of all these, if you don't find a primary, what will you do? You go for a neck node dissection. That is very simple. If you see a fine primary, treat the primary first. No need for, there's no point in going for a neck node dissection. So suppose, for example, see a stomach you picked up with a level 4 lymph node. No point in doing a neck node dissection because it's a metastatic disease. You should treat the primary. Okay. The primary is there, treat the primary. No primary detected by any of these means, you have to go for a node dissection. Okay. The third group is undifferentiated. Undifferentiated means the pathologist is not able to tell you actually what type of malignancy it is by FNAC. So in such people, it could be again a squamous cell carcinoma, it could be a malignant adenocarcinoma, it could be a lymphoma, anything. So we need either an excision biopsy of the node with IHC. Immunohistochemistry is necessary. And if it comes to one of these groups, same follow adenosarcoma, will follow this line. If it is lymphoma, you should follow no surgery there, you get chemo radiation therapy. That line will go. The fourth group is could be melanoma. Head and neck lymph nodes could be due to melanoma. Again, you should see a detailed examination of the ENT area or try to find the primary lesion. You can use a PET scan to see the primary lesion. If a primary is found, treat the primary. And no primary is found, can go for a nodal dissection. Okay, so this is how you go with the evaluation. So depending on the level of nodes involved, depending on the pathology, the evaluation is reached this stage. Okay. Now, what happens next? You have done all these. What happens to this? Suppose you are able to find the primary. No question. You have to treat the primary. Okay. Suppose you don't see the primary. What will you do? What is the broad management? Then you need to think about the staging. If it's N1 stage, you can straight away go and do a modified radical neck dissection. Okay, that's the treatment. No primary found with all these efforts. You can go for MRI. Okay. N1 node. If N2 and N3, that is advanced larger nodes, you can go for a index chemoradiation therapy prior to that. You can give a chemoradiation dose, reassess, and then later, if necessary, you can go for a modified radical neck dissection. So, okay, this is a broad. And N1, you go for a upfront surgery, followed by follow-up, and maybe patient may require chemoradiation later. N2 and N3, preferably pre-chemoradiation therapy first, and then go for a. Or some people N2 and all, some people upfront they do. These are all broad decisions. There may be some difference in opinion by various people. Okay. Now, what will you do? So you have done neck node dissection. No primary found. You have done a neck node dissection done. You need to evaluate these nodes first. There you need to remember the extracapsular extension I mentioned in the end stage. Okay. N1 stage, no extracapsular invasions found. N1 node, what will you do? You have already dissected. All you need is probably will be follow up because you already N1 node, no extracapsular invasion extension is there. You can follow. Or some people advise radiotherapy also. Okay, the field radiation therapy some people advise. But follow or field radiation in such cases. N2 and N3 node without extracapsular invasion. N2 and N3 node, no extracapsular invasion. N2 and N3 patient require concurrent radiation therapy. Okay, after neck dissection, patient require concurrent radiation therapy. Third is the capsular invasion is there. Any size capsular invasion is there. That's the N3B node. Okay, there also patient require concurrent radiation. Okay, so it's very simple. N1 node, no capsular invasion, you may follow, or maybe you can give for radiation. N2, N3 node, no capsular invasion, you need concurrent radiation therapy, and in case of invasion of the capsule also, any size of the node, you need concurrent radiation therapy. Okay, so that's the treatment. The third group is patient had a primary radiation therapy. Sometimes I mentioned maybe so N1 node, that's one thing I did mention. This N1 node can even give, without mRNA, can give a primary radiation therapy. Some people prefer small node, N1 node. You don't dissect the node, you can give primary radiation therapy. A patient is coming back with you, an N1 node which was treated, or N2 and N3, you may give primary chemotherapy, chemoradiation. A patient is coming back to you after primary radiation or primary chemoradiation therapy. How will you evaluate this patient? Okay. So this patient is followed up with the response. If this patient has no response with chemoradiation therapy, patient is having the node or size of the node is not reduced, there's no other option, you have to go for an MRI straight away. Okay. Chemoradiation has produced some response to this patient, clinical response. This patient needs to be evaluated with a PET CT 12 weeks, preferably 12 weeks after the radiation. Evaluate with PET scan. And if the lymph node is still persisting more than 1 centimeter, size is still there, you have to go for an MRI. Okay, so that's the treatment. So you have to mention about the when no primary is detected, no primary detected, patient undergone a neck dissection. What will you do further to that neck dissection? Whether you go for a concurrent radiation or not, depending on the capsular invasion. Okay, then patient had a primary chemoradiation therapy. He is coming back to you. You need to evaluate is the responsive to the chemoradiation, not responsive. Not responsive, straight away MRT. Responsive, you can again evaluate 12 weeks later with PET scan. If it's still a mass, significant mass is persisting more than 1 centimeter size, then you may again think about surgery. Or otherwise, the size is very small, you give more time for this mass to reduce and re-evaluate it. Okay. So this is in short about the various treatment guidelines. I think this is just a treatment guideline. So this is in nutshell what we are talking about so far. Okay. Clinical features of lymph nodes is there. This is called a we will go to this. Malignant suspicious node is there. We will do FNAC. It's squamous cell adenocarcinoma, melanoma, undifferentiated, or thyroid carcinoma also sometimes. Or this is reactive and inconclusive. These are the types of reports you make. Okay. Squamous cell carcinoma, you do pan endoscopy, ENT examination, MRI, PET, and blind biopsy. This is what we mentioned. Adenocarcinoma, salivary gland, breast, GI, all these you concentrate and these accordingly. Melanoma, head and neck, choroid, ear, ENT, eyes, oral cavity, everywhere you need to evaluate and find out. Undifferentiated, you need a true cut or biopsy. Okay. IHC to rule out lymphoma. Okay. Thyroid carcinoma is straightforward. If FNAC is showing a thyroid carcinoma, straight away go with the thyroid line. We mentioned about in the last class. With the reactive hyperplasia, you may need an excision biopsy or a true cut biopsy to further confirm. Inconclusive, again you need an excision biopsy or true cut biopsy. Okay. This segment is more or less easy. If it is benign, if it's a benign inflammatory, you may need most probably you need an excision biopsy. It could be tuberculosis or non-specific. This is not a, we are not going to discuss. Maybe chronic inflammation, tuberculosis treatment is different. Okay, you may go for an anti-tuberculosis treatment or whatever infection you detected, you treat it that way. Okay, so this is how you evaluate a malignant cervical lymph node swelling, and accordingly, this is how you plan. I will end up with showing some pictures. What are some pictures of the lymph node dissection? This is called this blue area is called the area of lymph node dissection. It's called supraomohyoid dissection. So level 1, 2, and 3. Usually it is done in salivary gland or cavity. Okay. This blue area. This is the area of dissection. This is level 4. Level. This is 1, 2, and 3 nodes. This is supraomohyoid. This is called supraomohyoid dissection. This is called a lateral dissection, that is level 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. This is a 2, 3, 4 dissection. It's called lateral neck dissection. Usually this is done in case of a oral cavity again. Sometimes in thyroid also you do this. Or this is called a posterolateral neck dissection, that is level 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually you do in thyroid. Thyroid also you dissect level 6 also. Okay. Thyroid this is called the posterolateral. So level 2, 3, 4, 5 is called posterolateral. 2, 3, 4 is called lateral dissection. Supraomohyoid is called level 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So these are various neck dissections you do for various conditions. And I think somehow we try to simplify this topic into a more of an understandable thing. You need to concentrate. Basically, I would like to end with saying that you need to know the nodes. First of all, you should say the lymph node, which level of node, and you should have a basic idea which level of node in this particular node will be enlarged with what pathology, or which areas pathology. Then you should evaluate and find out whether this is looking like a benign or malignant lesion. Look for the primary first of all. First of all, you see FNAC and see what type of malignancy, so that you can pinpoint, you can concentrate on certain areas. That's the idea of doing an FNAC. And you know you can concentrate on certain areas, squamous area, malignancy, you can concentrate on certain other areas. So try to find the primary. If no primary is seen, you can treat these as I said. So for some of the postulations, why no primary is found? There are some postulations. Because they say maybe the primary is already gone by the time you detect it. It's already self-controlled by the body. Second, this thing is maybe after some time the primary is just evolving. So you need to keep looking for the primary. Sometimes we are not able to find it with all these investigations. So these are two possibilities. Either it's gone or it's coming. Okay. Anyway, try to find the primary with all your modalities. In primary C, treat the primary. No primary C, treat the disease. And patients may need post-operative radiation. Small nodes can be treated with only radiation, chemoradiation. Larger needs may be needed preoperative chemotherapy and surgery. And then only chemotherapy, patient may have to reevaluate later and do the surgery. Okay, so this is how you do, and capsular invasion is a very important point in this latest staging modality. Capsular invasion is there. It's considered a little advanced disease. You need a concurrent chemotherapy. I think that's it. I hope you had a decent understanding about this problem. Okay, that's it. Thank you.